What is up, Fantasy Football League? It is your commissioner coming to you live from Charlotte, North Carolina. We had a great week 7. We're going to talk about week 8 coming up. Going to talk about that. A lot of good stuff going on there. But for now, all right, Eric. All right, Luke. All right, calm it down. Eric and Luke, we will see you tomorrow night, Bank of America Stadium, concert for Carolina. Let's go. Can't wait for that. Let's talk about some other things on the agenda for the weekend. Big sports weekend here in Charlotte. Hornets are playing right now. They're probably beating Atlanta for all we know. Panthers play at 4:25 against the Broncos. That's probably going to be another loss. But the big one, 7:30, Charlotte FC, first game of the playoffs against Orlando. We will be at Ed's for both games. Ed's Tavern for both games. But let's jump right into it. Let's talk about what we saw in week 7. Ben, most points, $10. Taking home some more money. I feel like I've paid you a few times. Kicker points were highlighted last week. Graham had Dicker the kicker. I think that was on Monday night. He probably had like 15 points. $10 for Graham. Aaron with the worst week with 73 points, I think, but he still had Baker on his bench. He had multiple players on his bench that could have gotten him a win, but $5 going into Aaron's pocket. Listen, if you're going to have a crappy week, at least you have somebody good on your bench. That's what we're talking about. Let's jump right into week 7 and talk about what we saw. Dylan Dalton, man, you really suck it up. 2 weeks in a row, you're taking an L, this time to Hurricane Alley. Marky Mark gets over the 500 mark, moving to 4-3. Dylan Dalton falls to 5-2 on a 2-game losing streak. That's right, not my commissioner. Not my commissioner. I don't know what's going on there. The commissioner I knew was a lot better than he's been in the last 2 weeks. Garbage Island. Hell of a week here against a big matchup, and I like that pick. Chris Tomlinson falls to 4-3. Chris Johnson gets a big win, 3-4. Garbage Island, that's a big win for you because you're avoiding that bar stool at Ed's Tavern towards the end of the year. Mute Henry playing Graham's Crackers. Mute Henry gets a very close win here over Graham's Crackers. Graham starting to kind of fall off a little bit. Henry's still staying alive. Another big win, moving to 3-4 instead of 2-5. A football team, probably the best team in the league right now. It kind of bounces around week to week. Football team got an easy win over Almond Joy. Ben now 5-2, tied for first place. Houday and the Blobfish, just absolutely a joke. I don't even know why he's in the league. It's embarrassing. 78.2 points. Vrabel's mustache gets lucky again. Moves to 5-2. He's the worst 5-2 team I think I've ever seen in my entire life. But the dude's 5-2, so what are you gonna do? Moving on, Don't Puka the Bear playing Something Wong. Oh, listen, man. Yeah, but you gotta win. Good for you. I mean, that's a good win. You're thinking about that bar stool. But hey, Aaron, that's embarrassing. I don't even want to look at your crap. You had some unfortunate. Tank Dell doesn't even get a point. Whatever. What are you doing there? Hopping over to the standings before we jump into week 8. Ed's Tavern, a football team, and Dylan Dalton up there at 5-2. Henry and Garbage Island and Don't Puka the Bear at 3-4. Lots of losers in this. I mean, there's 4 teams under 500 here. And Houday and the Blobfish down there all the way at the bottom. Vrabel's mustache over in the Cupcake division is just kind of, listen, he gets a couple of wins here and he starts to run away with this thing and you're thinking what's going on here. But Hurricane Alley, I like that pick. Graham's Cracker right there behind him at 4-3. Almond Joy 3-4. Something Wong, I think he's just nervous as Tyler is about that Ed's Tavern barstool. We'll see if Something Wong actually even does it if he gets there. Week 8, let's get right into it. Week 8, we are going to be highlighting the kicker again back to back. So make sure you got your good kicker on there. Let's talk about what we're seeing here. Some really good matchups. I think this is a pivotal week for a lot of teams. people down at the bottom that really need to win, those middle tier 3 and 4, 4 and 3 kind of guys, you need to kind of separate yourself from the pack. And there are a lot of good matchups here. Let's start with one right here that's a really good matchup. I like that pick, taking on Mute Henry, 4 and 3, 3 and 4. Are we going to see somebody at 5 and 3 and 3 and 5, or are we going to see two people at 4 and 4? But man, these two teams are loaded on the projections here. 135, 129. Henry is always projected big points, but then he just can't produce. He just can't produce. That being said, I like that pick to go to 5 and 3. Henry falls to 3 and 5. I'm seeing coming and gets there down at the bottom. That's the matchup of the week, so we're gonna skip that. Almond Joy, 3 and 4. You get you one more win. This is a huge matchup here. Huge matchup for Almond Joy. You move to 4 and 4. You're pretty much off that bar stool. Houday and the Blobfish projected 124 points. But listen, buddy, I mean, I do not see it from on your team. I think your team is abysmal, a joke, embarrassing, repulsive, just like that that blob you got there. Titanic Submersible. Almond Joy gets the win, moves up to 500. Hottest team in the league, I think, right now is Tyler, which is surprising. Rabel's Mustache, the most overrated team, taking on Don't Puka the Bear in an embarrassing low amount of here. I don't know what's going on, but man, I think Andrew's gonna get lucky again. He gets Aaron on a bad week, and I think Vrabel's gonna move to 6 and 2. An ugly 6 and 2, but an ugly 6 and 2 is better than a good looking 3 and 5 is what Aaron's gonna end up being. Something wrong. Listen, something wrong. Something really wrong here because you ain't getting another win. Garbage Island's going to move to 500. Your former commissioner, not my former commissioner, is going to fall to 2 and 6. That's just about how it goes. Chug of the week. In the middle of the stuff. That was a lot today. 7 minutes of talking there. Brought to you by our friends over at the Biltmore. Reason being, this is a great time to go up to the Biltmore. It should be opening back soon after the storm. They need the help up there. Asheville, great time, the fall. And Christmas time in Biltmore, I hear, is the best time to go. So, oh, and those commercials. Have you seen those commercials? Woo! Some good commercials there. Graham's Cracker taking on Dylan Young. That's right, Dylan Young. Oh, man. Poor Andy Dalton got in a car wreck. Popped his thumb out of place, so we're back with Dylan Young. Not going to spend too much time here. Graham, I'm going to welcome you to the league with a nice ass kicking. Send you right back down there to 500. Moving on. Matchup of the week. Hurricane Alley taking on a football team. This is a huge matchup. 4 and 3, 5 and 2. Who's going to be that guy? And I tell you who it's going to be. I don't know who it's going to be. I'm just guessing at half this shit. So listen, I think Marky Mark gets the win. Goes to 5 and 3. Ben 5 and 3. Mostly because I want to be at the top of the totem pole. I want to be that guy. So that's it. That is our Week 8 match wrap up. Let's talk about what we saw last night, Thursday night. An exciting game. Somebody's got to check on our boy Sam Darnold and make sure his neck's not broken on that. That's embarrassing for the NFL. Vegas, good for you. Some other matchups. Two really bad good teams. The Philadelphia Eagles taking on Cincinnati. Baltimore, Cleveland, a big division matchup there. Andrews, Tennessee Titans taking on Detroit Lions. They're going to get smashed. Tampa, Atlanta. That's a big matchup in the NFC South. Our boys, Carolina Panthers, going over to Denver on Monday night, Dallas, San Francisco, or Sunday night, Dallas, San Francisco. That'll be a really good game there to see who can stay in the race. And on Monday Night Football, New York Giants, Pittsburgh Steelers. Listen, guys, we are in Week 8 here. Let's just get after it. It's time to get on those waiver wires, start trading, have some fun, actually enjoy playing in this league. Maybe talk to somebody, talk some junk. But listen, like I said, Sunday night, Carolina Panthers, Charlotte FC, Ed's Tavern. As always, like and subscribe. Bye.